Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wishful Living. We all have priorities, don't we? However, identifying them is not as easy as it sounds. For some, it could be going for a jog every day, while for others, it could be catching up on the news first thing in the morning. While we plan to get certain things done, sometimes unforeseen, urgent issues can get in the way of what's really important, and we end up spending more energy and time on those issues instead of the really important ones. There are times when we get overwhelmed by merely looking at the amount of work we need to get done on a single day. As a result of which, we feel overworked, stressed, and completely exhausted on some days. Needless to say, nobody wants unnecessary stress, and that is exactly why prioritization is so important. So, if you too are someone who very often finds it difficult to manage your tasks and responsibilities, make sure you watch this video till the end. I first came across the concept of prioritization recently after I started working, but at that time it did not make much sense to me. But now, being older and therefore wiser, I think it is a brilliant technique to sort out your to-dos in a smart way so that you don't end up being stressed about things that are not important. Many of you may already be doing this, but in case you are not, here is a chance to know more. Well, the first thing towards prioritization is knowing what is necessary and what is dispensable. While there are many ways to do that and the internet is full of articles about how to prioritize, here is my way of doing it. Well, for this, you're going to need a notebook and one or maybe two pens, as in my case. So the first thing to do is basically to make a note of all the things that you need to get done. No matter how small a task may seem, it's always a good idea to just note it down, because it happens with me that I plan something in the morning and I don't note it down because it's a simple activity, and then I end up forgetting it. Now, there are two ways to proceed to step 2. This first way of doing it will come in handy if you have like a really long to-do list, or if you're someone who is just starting out on your job and are having a difficult time figuring out what to do first. So I'll start by dividing the whole page into 4 parts. In the top left quadrant, I am going to write the word urgent, and on the right side I'm going to write not urgent, and in a similar way I'm going to write important and not important on the left side of the page. Once you have done that, let's start by filling it. So in the top left quadrant, I'm going to list down the tasks that are not just urgent but also important, and therefore these need to be done right away. So these are the things that I will get done first before moving on to anything else. In the top right quadrant is where I will note down the things that are important but not urgent. Therefore, I don't need to do them right away, but since they're important, I need to decide a time on when to do them. Moving on to the bottom left quadrant, here I will jot down the tasks that are urgent but not exactly important. If possible, I'll try and delegate these to someone else since they do not need my special attention. And finally, in the last quadrant will come the tasks that are neither important nor urgent, and maybe I don't even need to do some of them at all. So yeah, I'll try to delete some of these if they're not really important. And that's it. This is actually a very popular way of prioritization and is known as the Eisenhower matrix. And That's all my tasks have been divided as per the priority. Now if you want, you can go ahead and even prioritize the most urgent and important tasks on the basis of their priorities, like further going on and write A, B and C, only if you wish to. So yeah, now I can start by focusing on the most important and urgent tasks, and I know which tasks are important, and that's it. I think this is a great way of prioritization. The second way is like a lot simpler than the first way of doing it. And if you do not have a big to-do list, or if someone who just wants to plan his or her regular day, then you can use this method, which is very simple. For this, I just divide my page into two parts. On the top, I'm going to write the top priorities, and I'm going to also write that the tasks that I need to do on that day, so must do today. The rest of the tasks I'm just going to add in the lower half of the page. The idea behind this is that no matter what happens, I'll ensure that I at least manage to complete the top tasks which I had noted down in the first part of the page, and these are the things that I need to do that day. Because sometimes it happens that something unexpected pops up, or a certain urgent task may come over which need my immediate attention. But as long as I complete the things that are of utmost priority, I'm sorted. So by doing this, I will not feel guilty at the end of the day, because I have completed the top must do's of the day, and basically I've kind of met my target. So that's it. Just by doing this small exercise in the beginning of the day can save a lot of unwanted confusion. And an additional tip: most often than not, the things that are deemed urgent are actually more important to others. So once in a while, maybe we can simply say no. If you like this video, then don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also leave a comment below. And for more such videos, subscribe to Wishful Living.